We've got President of Basketball Operations, Brad Stevens, coming in. Brad, it's great to see you in person for the first time in, a year and a half at this point? Yeah, I think it has been, for us at least. Yeah.
Sitting with Tatum this morning, we were talking about we left the bubble tomorrow 1 year ago.
It's crazy.
And to think of all that's changed in that year is pretty amazing.
Well, we're very excited to have you joining us. I mean, this has been a different off season for you with just new responsibilities. How has the transition been for you so far?
It's been good. It was a sprint. Coming right off of a season, coming right off really 2 seasons back to back, and then, the next morning going right into a new job and learning the intricacies of that and the cadence of that was, it was a lot in those first couple of months, but we went into it with the goal of hiring a new coach and a staff, making sure that we were able to improve our roster appropriately and also manage, both the short and the long term from a financial perspective. And so feel good about where we are, but know that we're going to constantly be in evaluation mode to figure out how we can get to where we want to go.
You mentioned just the coaching staff. You've been obviously on that side as well. What stood out to you in terms of Ime and why he was such a great candidate for the Celtics?
Well, I think the biggest thing, he's very humble. He's easy to get along with. He has a great deal of warmth in generating and cultivating relationships, and at the same time has you can tell has got a toughness and a demand about him that I think is really important, right? It's a great balance. It's a really hard job. There's a lot of things coming at you all the time, and I think that he'll be able to handle that well. The next few weeks will be, a whole new world for him, like it was for me when I took this job, right? When you're now standing in front of the media after every practice and going through, you're doing all of that communicating to the world, let alone getting ready for your own team. But he's more than ready for it, and he'll do a great job.
You're going to miss that media part, right?
What's funny is I won't miss standing and giving the same answers every day after practice, regardless of what's asked, because I just say whatever I want to say, which is probably good. But I think that what I will miss a little bit is just the planning for every day. And I'm getting used to that, not doing that. Mm-hmm. In fact, I've kind of found the silver lining of that is, right, that September has been a way more chill month for me than maybe it has been for the last 20 years of my life. So the first couple months after taking this job, June, July, and August were a bear. But it's been, now that we're more settled as a team, it's been good.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. When was the first time that you felt you were able to kind of sit down and breathe? I mean, because right into it, you're immediately making a trade, you're searching for a head coach. I mean,
it was fast. And, obviously the Kemba trade right there, that was really hard, but that was only a couple weeks in, and that's before we hired Ime. And then once that happened and once staff got settled, and for me personally, my old staff, as they got settled around the country and the world, I felt better about, okay, we're all in a good spot as far as moving forward. That was probably the most angst for me personally, because we had an amazing staff and amazing people, and some of them are still here and some of them are in great spots elsewhere. But they were really special to work with every day. And anytime you have change, there's going to be some things that come with that. But we were fortunate not to have to deal with too much of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned the Kemba Walker trade, and you had said that after that was really difficult for you to have to do that. How kind of navigating that now with these different decisions and kind of thinking now as the president of basketball operations versus a coach now? How are you doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I think as a coach, you're thinking about it too, right? But as a president of basketball operations, obviously, when you have to be the one that makes that call, that actually says, yes, we will do that. That's like a moment that, takes a little bit, right? The first time that you do that for anything, not just Kemba, but some of the trades that we made recently where we have guys going out that have invested time in here, like a Carson Edwards, who we want to see grow and get better and reach his dreams and reach his goal. At the same time, we have to do the best to put a team that fits best together here in Boston, and that's our responsibility. Our responsibility is to the Celtics. It is to the city of Boston, and we all are lucky to do what we do within this organization, and we want to try to be the best version we can for this, entire New England region.
And the best version that you could put together, in my mind, it looked like you were looking toward veteran leadership and bringing in some players who had a lot of experience under their belt. You did that in building this roster. Why did you want to target bringing in more experience on this team, or did it just happen with the moves that presented themselves?
Well, I mean, bringing Al back is huge because he's got his leadership is quiet, measured, and is full of patience. And I think that's so important in an 82-game season. He has a great pulse on how to get good and how to peak at the right time. And I think he'll be a great, a great addition for our coaching staff and for our team to help with that. And then, when you bring in Schroeder and you bring in Richardson and you bring back Canner, and those are guys that have been there, done that. And they've done it on big stages. They've done it in the playoffs. They're all double-figure scorers. Like, those guys are all really good players. And so we wanted to improve our depth. We wanted to give ourselves more options in playing big or small. And so we'll see how it all pans out.
One thing, Brad, it was recently announced that Ime is in the NBA health and safety protocol. Just in terms of training camp, how are the Celtics planning to navigate that and manage that?
Yeah, I mean, and you look at it now. I mean, everybody's back in masks, and everybody's, as we even saw during Summer League, right? Obviously, the Delta variant and the fact that we still have a long way to go as a country from a vaccination standpoint just means that we've got to, keep at it, and we've got to make sure that we're doing our best to continue to educate our team and doing our best as a team to help each other from, getting it. But thankfully, Ime's doing great. He's been doing great, and you'll hear from him later on today.
Okay.
This coaching staff, basically entirely new with the exception of Joe Mazzulla. Talk to us about some of these guys who you've gotten to know a little bit better since they came on board and were officially announced just about a week ago.
Well, actually, there's 5 of the 11 when I consider the player enhancement staff and Matt Reynolds are back. Mm-hmm. So there is some carryover, which has been, great from my standpoint because, again, the biggest angst in leaving was what's going to happen with our coaching staff. The people that have come in that I've gotten a chance to spend time with have been great, and, we think we'll continue to add. I think they're excited to be here in Boston. They're excited for the chance to work for Ime. Ime had a lot of personal relationships with many of them, and so there's a comfort level there and a trust factor there that I think will work out well.
Yeah, you mentioned those relationships, and Ime has been very close with, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, and is just with the FIBA World Cup. And he said that under Pop, he learned the importance of just creating those relationships, cultivating those relationships in the league. How do you think that that'll help him now moving forward as the head coach and getting through to the guys?
No, I don't think there's any doubt. And then that coupled with his experiences as a champion, as an Olympic gold medalist, as a champion at playing, coaching, whatever the case may be. So he has a great way about him. He's got a great cachet to him, and he'll do really well.
One guy I want to focus in on, Marcus Smart. He loves Boston. Boston loves him. Just the contract extension for him and keeping him with the Celtics. Why was that so important? Of just the longest tenured Celtic now.
Yeah,
too.
We were excited to add, to re-add, I guess, or re-up, or whatever you want to call it, extend Marcus this past summer, and Rob as well, right? And I think that those guys have been here. They've shown that they add to winning. They've shown that they care about it. They both really like being in Boston. They both like competing here. And, we think that they both, make, and this has been proven throughout time, they both make really good players better. And I think that that's a quality that you not only have as a good player themselves, but if you can help make other guys better, then that's a huge thing, and they do it consistently.
Great. Well, Brad, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it, and looking forward to training camp starting.
That's the best part of being in this room.
There you go.
Thank you,
the
Brad.
out.
Great to see you.